Hey guys, Jake Trombley.
Hey guys, Pete, we're Frank's Great Outdoors. We just wanted to catch up with you this weekend. We just finished up our third stop at the Michigan Walleye Tour down on Lake Erie. We were running out of Sterling State Park, and we'll let Jake tell you about our first couple days of practice here.
Yeah, so day one of practice, Ray and I went down on Tuesday, had a doctor's appointment for the wife for our expected baby on May 29th. And talked to my doctor, Dr. Kroll, and she said, you're good to go to your tournament. Baby's not due for 4 weeks. So away we went. Ray and I headed down there, had to keep the old man happy, so I took him for some lunch at Big Al's, our usual spot down there, and we hit the water about 12:30, and it was nasty and windy down there. So we actually stayed close to the launch. We were within a mile of it the whole time, and had a really good first day, honestly. I mean, a mile within the launch, and we had a double of a 6.5, a 6. I think we caught a couple of 5s and a 4. I think we were around 26, 27 pounds the first day, and only like 2 hours of fishing. And obviously, we were pretty much the only boat there, so that was kind of cool. Day 2, it was just Ray and I still, and it was even worse that day. Our teammates Rex and Jim from the Frank's team as well, they were down that day, and they stayed a little tighter south of us. We went back to that same spot where we got the bigger fish, and it was just all the 16 to 21 inchers you could catch. Not a big bite, so we headed out to the dumping grounds, kind of out from Bowles Harbor, and it was easily 5 to 6 foot waves, and they were just continuing to build. And you know, Razor's 70 years old, and I wasn't going to beat him up too bad. We weren't going to learn a whole lot that day, so we headed in a little bit early. How we do things with our team, we've got Stephen J. Sprecher from the Sioux in Farmer City, Illinois, and then Ron Almasi, Rex Robinette, and Jim Fortner. And what we do is we kind of break up the water, and they'll fish an area, we fish an area, and we kind of all spread out. And when Pete brings his boat, he'll fish separately too, so we have 4 boats on the water. And what we do is we all kind of fish different areas and talk about what we're gonna do, where we're gonna go, and kind of meet up every night and talk about how things went. So Rex and Jim plan on staying out. They were kind of tucked in out of the weather. We're getting some good fish down south, closer to the launch, so they planned on staying there. Wednesday night, Pete got there, and Pete could talk about Thursday.
Yeah, so Thursday morning we headed down to Catawba launch area, and we just kind of were going to focus on the islands, you know, in the Cairns area there. You know, when we got down to kind of some of the areas where traditionally are pretty good, it's kind of a migratory route where the fish kind of funnel through as they're moving back east. But you know, the water that we had found there was just muddy. I mean, there were fish everywhere. Our 2D sonar we were graphing, there were just tons of fish, but we just couldn't get anything really to go. You know, we hit probably 5 or 6 spots, you know, the first part of the day, and I think we caught 1 fish around the islands area there. You know, I brought up a map, satellite image that Noah takes on a daily basis. Was able to kind of look at that. We could see a little pocket of cleaner water kind of back to the west and a little bit to the north around the Cairns area. So we just kind of drove around there, and you know, we marked some fish, started fishing. I think we caught like five fish or so in a pretty short period of time. You know, we just did a lot of driving around trying to catch fish in the muddy water. You know, we didn't really catch much until the end of the day on Thursday. You know, we got into that cleaner water around the Cairns. You know, it pretty much wrapped up that day. We had headed back and just kind of went through and looked at the image from the night before, just to kind of come up with a plan for Friday, which our plan Friday was to head east. We drove over to Huron, Ohio, and we worked that whole east shoreline from Huron over to Avon Point. You know, we did catch a fair amount of fish towards the further east end. Again, we just ran into a lot of muddy water out there. This time of year, it can be pretty unpredictable. You know, we get a lot of the winds, the rain. I mean, it just kind of, it's like a washing machine. There's so much current. It just turns up the water, and the key is to find that right water color that are holding active fish. You know, we did find a good pod, but it was a long ways from Sterling State Park, and it was like 80 miles or so, or 78 miles. You know, so we just kind of kept that in our back pocket, you know, coming into day 1 of the tournament. we had a couple ideas of where we're going to start for the event. So we'll let Jake kind of roll into that.
Yeah, so I also, if anyone's fishing out by Sea Can and you catch about a 5-6 pounder that has a JD's Frozen Barbie Bandit in its mouth, that's mine, I'll take it back. We did get that on film. It came up right to the side of the boat and it rolled, and I'm not sure if the line got caught in the gill plate, but Frank's will be posting that video of that fish, unfortunately, taking off with my $13 bait. So day one of the tournament, we really wanted to go out towards Avon Point, Cleveland, Lorain area, just because we knew the bigger fish were there, and we wanted to get to them. We pulled out and it was blowing and gusting, and I knew I drove out a little ways and I knew I wouldn't be able to do it. So Jim and Rex and Ron got some good fish just to the south of the launch, and it had been pretty clear on imaging, but we gambled. We went down there, we got there, and it was just solid mud. I mean, it just completely changed. So we pulled an audible. We headed up to the Canadian shore where they were. Tried dialing some things in up there. Just all crankbaits for us. We did try running some crawlers for a little bit and just couldn't get bit. And we did have 1 or 2 good fish on it for our second move up there, and thought maybe we could get them going, and we really couldn't. It was kind of a bandit program for us. The Sunspot, the JD's Frozen Barbie took our biggest fish, and that was just kind of how day one went. We just couldn't get those big bites though, unfortunately, and it took us a while to get there, and then it took a while to get back with the wave. So came in not so hot. We were in 67th place out of 105 or so, and plan was day 2, if we could go out east, we were going to go there, and if not, we were going to go back to where we got those fish initially. So I got up Sunday morning getting ready to head to get the boat all uncovered and everything, and at 4:15 I got a text from Lacey that said I'm heading to the hospital. So this is our first pregnancy, and usually as a doctor I know that first pregnancies either go on time or late, but as you can hear, we got this little girl. Little Tylee Ray Trombley came 3 weeks early. So I didn't get to fish the first day, or the second day. It's nice that the MWT allows 3 anglers on a team, because I was able to leave, Pete and Ray were still able to fish, and we were still able to keep our team of the year points. So I'm gonna take her into mommy real quick, unless she calms down, and Pete's gonna talk about day number 2.
Yeah, so day 2, it's just old Ray and I, coming out of the launch first thing in the morning as we were blasting off. My plan was to head east once I saw what those waves were doing. We get out of the launch and we just have some residual rolling waves coming out of the east, and they were spread pretty far apart, and it was just kind of rough, kind of slow going, about 22, 23 miles an hour. We kind of hit a wave. I could hear Ray moan, so I just kind of took a left-hand turn and headed to the North Shore, and just slowly made our way up there. I didn't want to beat Jake's boat up too bad or beat up Ray. So we made our way up north. We got there a heck of a lot earlier than we did the day before, which was pretty nice. We just kind of picked up where we left off. We were just running the shoreline, and 24 to 27 feet of water. We started out pulling bandits, husky jerks, and reef runners, just to kind of dial in and see what the fish wanted. We caught 1 on a husky jerk. I think we had probably 4 fish in the first pass. We had a couple over 4, and then some of those 16-inch chips. And we just kind of kept going, ground the area. We had a little bit of wind out of the east. It finally laid up kind of midday and just got real flat out there. The bite slowed up. We probably caught 12 to 15 fish before noon. Once the bite slowed, just kind of moved out a little bit deeper off of that shoreline, and just kind of set up on a pot of fish that we were marking as we were moving out there. Started trolling. It was probably 10 minutes. Ray rolled one. Ended up putting it in the boat. It was 6'2", And then just probably 5 minutes later, we hooked into another one. It was just shy of 8 pounds. You know, we just kept going, brought in, flipped around on them, made another pass, didn't catch anything. We just continued to beat that area up. You know, as Jake said, it was a bandit bite for us. We kind of dialed that in throughout the day. There was really no pattern other than being bandits. We couldn't really key in on any specific color or pattern on day 2. So it was just kind of sporadic. We would just switch baits out, see what would get a bit, and just kind of go from there. You know, we ended up putting together, I think it was 32 pounds, 6 ounces or something like that. You know, we jumped up to 41st place out of the event, which we were pretty happy to salvage some points for our championship race for the Sioux. You know, overall, I mean, it was an okay event. We're happy with our recovery on day 2 from day 1. It was pretty huge. You know, it's just always fun to get down there and, you know, fish that fishery is just amazing. There's millions of walleye in that system, and, you know, it's a great place to go. Kind of wraps up the tournament. You know, this coming Friday, I'm headed down to Lake St. Clair with Ray and Rex. We're gonna fish the Madness Walleye Tournament. And then we're headed on Sunday, Ray and I, to Holloway Reservoir to fish the East Michigan Walleye Club event there. So just kind of getting into the busy time of year now with May, June, and July coming. You know, it's gonna be very busy with the high suns coming. You know, you want to get into Frank's. They got the AFCO shirts right now. They're $19.99.
Hooded?
And they're hooded or not hooded. And they are buy 2, get 1 free right now. So that's a smoking deal on these. You know, it helps protect you from the sun while you're out on the water, which is pretty important, you know.
And they got some Frank's onesies coming in. Unfortunately, this little gal came early, so she doesn't have one yet today, but Pete says that they're gonna be here, so make sure you get in to check out those Frank's onesies for the little ones. And she's pretty awake right now. So what we'll do, Pete's got those tournaments upcoming. Obviously, I'm taking a little break from fishing for a little bit. And then our next Michigan Walleye Tour event will be in July at Oscoda. That was an event that Pete and I won last year. So hoping to do well in that one again and move up and hopefully qualify for the Sioux Championship. They take the top 40 teams. I think we're 41st or 42nd or something.
Now, yep.
So we're 2 places out. We got to make our way into that. So that's our goal, to get in there. We love fishing the Sioux, so that'll be our objective in July, is to do well in that Oscoda event. Kind of back to the bandit program. For us, it was also weighted or unweighted. So we were catching them long lining, and we were also catching them where we snap them 2 ounce with an offshore guppy weight. Let out 50 feet, snap it on, use the precision trolling app, and figure out how much more line to get your targeted depth and which speed you want to go at. So something to check out there. And any questions, like we always say, reach out to us. If there's things you want to see, let us know. Frank should be releasing some of our on the water footage that we filmed from the last couple events. So take care and tight lines.
Thanks, guys.
Broke my line.